Good morning, dear children. So once again we are going to continue with P block elements, and today is our lecture 19. Last class we discussed about oxygen, its physical and chemical properties, then types of oxides, simple oxides, basic, non-metallic, that is acidic oxides, mixed oxides, and so on. So today I am going to start with ozone. Okay, ozone, it is prepared when oxygen gas is passed through silent electric discharge. Okay, and in this case delta H is 142 kilojoule per mole. Since the reaction is highly endothermic and therefore we need to have silent electric discharge. Okay, so far as ozone is concerned, at room temperature it is a pale blue gas, blue and bluish type of liquid and violet black solid. Its physical state depends upon the color change also. Okay, and its oxidizing behavior is very important. It is stronger oxidizing agent as compared to oxygen. And how come it is possible? Because it gives nascent oxygen, and therefore ozone acts as a stronger oxidizing agent even as compared to oxygen. Let's see some oxidizing behavior. So along with PbS, lead sulfide, it is converted to lead sulfate. Similarly, iodide minus iodide ion, H2O plus O3 in basic medium. You can see I minus is oxidized to I2 from -1 to 0 oxidation state. So it is a stronger oxidizing agent as compared to oxygen, and it has two resonating structures. And it's a powerful insecticide as well as germicide. Okay, and one in-text question is there: how is ozone estimated quantitatively? That's very important question. So when ozone is treated with potassium iodide solution buffered with a borate buffer whose pH equals to 9.2, then what happens? It liberates iodine. Okay, listen to this. These equations are not given in our book, but that also is important. Theoretically you have to explain. So when ozone is treated with potassium iodide buffered with a borate buffer whose pH equals to 9.2, it liberates iodine. And this iodine, when it is treated with sodium thiosulfate, Na2S2O3, then what happens? It is converted to sodium tetrathionate, Na2S4O6. Okay, and this titration is done by using starch as an indicator. So this is a quantitative method of estimation of ozone. How it is done? Theoretically you may write, when ozone is passed through potassium iodide solution buffered with a borate buffer, iodine is liberated. That iodine is titrated against sodium thiosulfate by using starch as an indicator. So this question, its estimation quantitatively, then its oxidizing behavior, resonating structure, and its preparation. These things are important from this ozone. And next important compound of group 16 elements we are going to start is sulfur dioxide is there, but before that let us discuss about sulfur. Okay, sulfur, it has two allotropes, rhombic and monoclinic. Okay. Rhombic and monoclinic. Rhombic sulfur, it is yellow in color, and these two allotropes of sulfur, they are interconvertible, and that temperature is 369 Kelvin. Okay, so this temperature 369 Kelvin is known as transition temperature, because at this temperature rhombic and monoclinic sulfur, both the forms are stable, and sulfur, it exists from S2 to S20 nowadays, still S20, but important one S2, S8, even S6. So these molecules, it exists. As you all know, S8, it has got a puckered ring structure. Okay, this is S8. Here the bond angle is 107 degree, and when I say about S6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a minute, chair type of structure it has. Okay, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is S6 molecule. So these two forms are stable, and apart from that, one more important is, that is S2. There is an in-text question that which form of sulfur exists in vapor state, and why vapor state sulfur molecule is paramagnetic in nature. Okay, so sulfur in vapor state exists as S2 molecule, and it is paramagnetic. How come it is paramagnetic? It is similar to oxygen molecule. If you remember molecular orbital theory, in case of oxygen molecule, where 16 electrons are there, and when we write the molecular orbital configuration, then what happens, that pi 2px2, pi 2py2, and then pi star 2px1 and pi star 2py1, like this it comes out to be. Okay, because sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, star 2s2, up to here 8 electron is there, then sigma 2pz2, 10 electrons, then 12, 14, 15 and 16. So just like oxygen molecule, in vapor state, S2 molecule also has 2 unpaired electron. So therefore, it has paramagnetic behavior. So this S2 molecule is also very important, my dear students. Okay. So oxygen, sulfur and ozone we have completed, and the next important compound of group 16 elements is sulfur dioxide. Okay, sulfur dioxide hybridization, in this case sp2 with one lone pair, and its geometry is bent or V. It will have two resonating structures, excluding its hybrid structure. So this is the way its structure can be written, and let's see the methods of preparation. So when sulfur is passed through sufficient supply of oxygen, we get sulfur dioxide. Then FeS2, iron pyrite, when it is treated with oxygen, then also we get sulfur dioxide. Okay. So these two are the important methods of preparation of sulfur dioxide. Let's see the physical properties, some of the important physical properties of sulfur dioxide. So at room temperature, it's a colorless gas, but it has got a pungent and suffocating smell. Very intolerable smell it has, and it is highly soluble in water. And when it is dissolved in water, it forms sulfurous acid, H2SO3, which is a dibasic acid, and therefore it forms two series of salts, okay, bisulfite as well as sulfite. When moist, it acts as a reducing agent. However, it has got intermediate oxidation state, +4. So it can go up to +6. It can increase its oxidation number, as well as it can go up to -2, the minimum oxidation state of sulfur. So SO2 may act as an oxidizing and reducing agent as well, but when it is moist, in that condition it acts as a reducing agent. And two very important reactions of sulfur dioxide where it acts as a reducing agent, you can see ferric changes to Fe2 plus, SO2, SO4 2 minus, and the reaction is in acidic medium. So you can see here from +4 to +6, and iron from +3 to +2. Similarly, permanganate ion plus SO2 plus H2O, then Mn2 plus SO4 2 minus plus H plus. Very important reaction, because this is served as a test for sulfur dioxide also. As you all know, potassium permanganate, it is magenta in color. So when it is passed through sulfur dioxide, what happens? It becomes colorless. Okay, so these two reactions are very important. Sulfur dioxide, when acidified sulfur dioxide is passed through potassium dichromate, then it turns green, because potassium dichromate, acidified potassium dichromate with sulfur dioxide, K2SO4 plus Cr2SO4 whole thrice plus H2O. And potassium dichromate, as you all know, orange in color, and here chromium is in +6 oxidation state, here it is +3, and in +3 oxidation state chromium is green in color. So these two are the important tests for sulfur dioxide, and it acts as a reducing agent, it acts as an oxidizing agent, it is used for the preparation of sulfuric acid and so on, some other chemicals as well. So these are the importance and properties of sulfur dioxide. So uses of sulfur dioxide, it is used as an organic as well as inorganic solvent. Then for bleaching wool and silk, it has got the uses for the preparation of sodium bisulfite, sodium sulfite, sulfuric acid, bleaching agent, anti-clor, disinfectant, preservative, and so on. Okay, and next we are going to start with oxoacids of sulfur. So next class, all of you come prepared with ozone, oxygen, oxides, sulfur dioxide. Okay, its preparation, properties, resonating structures, oxidizing and reducing behavior.